Everything we had a while ago probably didn't help. I'd probably be pretty depressed about going back to school if my brain was actually working. As though the sight of the nighttime scenery scrolling by is surprisingly beautiful. My loud yawn is nearly slowly drowned by the clanking of the train tracks and the old carriage rattling. So tired. And whose fault is that, Hasao? She really does toe the line between something amusing sometimes, though. I managed to write out a weird smile. I look back at the window, my reflection just visible on the clear pane. Truth be told, she's perfectly correct. If it weren't for that little interlude a few hours ago, both of us would have a lot more energy. On top of that, we both had to take another bath, very nearly making us late for the train departure. Yeah, it was mine still. Getting into the bath with a guy is a dangerous thing to do. Evidently. Sorry, I guess I kind of took advantage of the situation back there. Well, I didn't exactly hate it. Lily's a slut! No, I'm kidding. She just likes the D. As she trails off, I look back to her, my eyes narrow, and I see her slightly red cheeks, a small grin, her mind obviously elsewhere. Say it. I knew the possibility of happening was there. I knew it. You're just as dirty-minded as I am. She quickly tossed into her free hand and made her disrobe crystal clear. That's a rather crude way of putting it. Oh, and you would suggest? I merely have a healthy adolescent self-stride. In other words, dirty-minded. Almost to sense the moment, Hanako mumbles quietly as she furrows her brows into Lily's lap. Lily looks, this robe melts away as she gently smiles and throws her hand on Hanako's long, dark hair. All I can do is watch and watch his smile. If someone were to ask me if I fell in love with her, I wouldn't be able to answer. I'm best able to come up with this. It just happened at some point, but I didn't realize it. If someone were to ask me why I love her though, then I could answer much easily. You really love Hanako, don't you? She gives me a deep nod, smiling warmly. It's a pity we had to return to school. She seemed to relax so much more where we were all away. I think we should talk about Hanako. I wouldn't worry. Hanako's been getting confidence thanks to you, at least for as long as I've known you two. She gives a self-deprecating, I can't fucking say it, deprecating slight, whatever. I think it's merely provided her with company and support. Since she came to know you, she's opening up much more, even to me. I get the feeling she's understanding her influence on Hanako, especially given to. I get the feeling she's understating her influence on Hanako, especially given that before the two came to know each other, Hanako had no friends to speak of. The friends I had in my previous school fulfilled what I expected of them, for the most part simply being there for idle chatter. But in Hanako and Lily, there really feels to be more to their relationship. As part of me envies it, but another one can ignore the fact that school year will eventually end after graduation. I really have no idea what Hanako will do. This trip has shown me how much we all come to depend on each other or another. Indeed, we're all going to have to make decisions. Maybe that's the reason why, despite our return to school, also heralding a returning of normalcy of everyday life, I can't help feeling a little restless. On the bright side, it won't take long for the summer holidays to arrive after your exams are finished. We could come back here during the summer holidays if you want. For a moment, she thinks of the announcement, her face becoming somewhat distant. I can only guess she's reflecting on all that's happened here. That would be good, I think. I nod, apparently smiling at her. Somewhere together with Lily, this idea seems like the perfect way to spend our holidays. I can dig it. Holy shit! This is the last chapter, the future. Holy fuck, I might be able to finish this game. Yay! The future. Oh man, the hype for this. Man, I wish YouTube didn't censor that crap. If not, you guys would have seen a more interesting story with less shrimp and more body parts. After the excitement of our trip to Hokkaido, it seems strange to be back to the usual daily routine so soon. Indeed, it feels like a normal day, the same as any other. Well, that's what I like to think anyways. To tell you the truth, the atmosphere of the entire class, no, the entire school has changed. Wait, to tell the truth, the atmosphere of the entire class, not the entire school, has changed. While an undercurrent subdued trepidation had previously pervaded the class, now that the exams are inside, boil over, and in fact, it's certainly rarely seen otherwise. One day until the exam starts, it's horrifying, really, that instead of studying, we went and wasted our trip up north. We were such model students too. Glancing around the class, even bubbly ordinary Misha seems oddly deflated. She sits in her desk, nervously chewing a pen while Mature lectures from the front of the class. Wait, on closer inspection, I do believe she's eating it. Tearing my eyes from the sorry spectacle, I turn my attention elsewhere. Hanako seems frantically screwing her notebook, her face merely inches away from the page, seemingly trying to record every word that leaves Matuo's mouth. Shizume's well, Shizume, cool as a cucumber. She sits diligently taking notes with her attention wholly focused on the front of the class. To be told, it's what I should be doing as well, if not for the fact that I feel like I have pretty good handle on what's being covered already. I wonder how Lily's doing. While she does have a good head on her, she has plenty on her plate. Unlike me, her class represented duties, taking care of Hanako, her other social contacts, her extra English studies. That girl really does take on a lot. The lunch bell rings a sigh of relief from the entire class. Matuo being no exception, I get the feeling he much prefers the more laid-back atmosphere of his normal classes to the frantic pace of exam preparations we're subjected to right now. Hashan! Help me. I lower my eyelids to have mass, making it clear my intentions of doing quite the opposite. Help me, help me, help me! Not doing well? She said I'm going to be fine, but I think I might die. Am I going to die, Hichan? Will you let me die from all this work? How modeling, given that she's neither the bright student in class nor the most diligent, it isn't a great surprise that she's finding it hard to cope with the workload. Sorry, Misha, but I got my own work to do. I thought you and Shumei would be studying together over the long weekend anyways. Studying is too boring to waste on a holiday, Hichan. Shopping together was much more fun, wasn't it, Hichan? Chichan, I can't say it. It's only now that I realize Shisune's been looking over to us, that Misha's arms have been moving likely all this time. I must really still now and not have noticed. What is it with these girls and shopping anyways? Even Lily and Hanako have dragged me out with them a couple of times. But you went anyways. It's so rare to see a guy that likes going shopping. Well, my role would probably be best described as pack mule. I can't say I share your enthusiasm about the experience. But back to the exams. You studied after you got back from the days off, didn't you, Shisume? Of course, Shishan. It's only sensible to study in the days before. Michelle makes it sound vaguely similar to a dying cow as she realizes her fully and unceremoniously flops onto her desk, betrayed even by her best friend. Judging from Shisume's quite frustrated look at Misha, she probably told her to study as she did. Don't worry, you can still gain some marks if you start studying now. Maybe. Misha does not seem overly amused. It seems the bubbly balloon and everlasting cheerfulness have been cruelly popped. Shizume's side goes unnoticed by the mopping Misha, earning her a quick poke in the shoulder. It takes barely more for Misha to get back into form. So what did you do over the weekend, Hishan? Just took a trip up north with Lily and Hanako. It was pretty nice. I see both of them narrowing their eyes at me, their minds solely in the gutter. The fact that their suspicions are founded makes the situation all the more awkward. We just studied and went sightseeing. There's nothing more to it. After such friggin' lie, I realized that it might not have been the best step considering Shizume's connections and her total lack of restraint when it comes to questioning someone she suspects on telling untruths. I really have no idea how she's going to take it, but she'll find out eventually anyways. It isn't as if it's really her business whom I date in any case. And yes, Lee and I are going out now. While Misha receives the news with enthusiasm smile, Shizume gives a look of mild surprise, somewhat masked by her cool demeanor. Whoever you date is your business. I hope you two go well together. Misha gets a look that says it's the most quarter I could possibly receive on the matter. It's all I wanted, really. After she says this, Shizume begins to sign something else, then stops her and shakes her head at Misha to prevent her from translating. Normally, I think this is straight off, but the awkwardly casual wait Shizume gets before walking off, which Misha in tow adds to my confusion, She assumed Harley's the kind of person to pull a punch or communicate without forethought. I shrugged my shoulders at the duo's odd behavior and looked towards Hanako's step, but I see that her chair is empty. She was definitely here before, so I guess she didn't feel like waiting. I'll go grab some food alone then. Walking down the hallway to the unused room that's become the second home to 3 students in particular, I mournfully looked down at the plastic-wrapped salad roll and juice box in my hand. The cafeteria food is really unappetizing. Maybe I'll consider this my penance for my recent indiscretions. Opening the door, I noticed one less quiet figure than I expected. It's strange, despite having known Lily for months, I can't help thinking back to the very first time I opened the door and saw her silently sitting in the sunlight. Just as she did then, she slowly opened her eyes a moment and they are calmly addressed me. Good morning, Hasao. It's afternoon, I think. Has Hanako been around? She skittered out of class without even noticing. Lily cradles her neck thoughtfully as I take a seat, my bag taking its place against the closest leg of the table, and my unsatisfied meal neatly set out in front of me. She did appear for a time. She said she had to study for the coming exams and left for the library. We find ourselves not entirely believing her words. Well, at least her intentions are in the right place. She's sweet, but she didn't need to go that far to letting us have our space. I might talk to her about it sometime. Probably for the best. For a while, we quietly eat our meals, Lily elegantly nibbling on her sandwiches and sipping her tea as I eat what tastes like a garden sandwich in dry dough. The atmosphere feels slightly strained, neither of us knowing quite what to say to each other now that our small talk has dried up. Eventually, we both finish our food with no conversation forthcoming for quite some time. Eventually, though, Lily's soft voice breaks the silence. A lot happened back there, didn't it? Again, silence with both our minds in the same topic, though. I think I have my feelings on that sorted out. I know everything happened in a kind of hurry, but I don't regret anything that happened in Hokkaido. Not one thing. Hasao? Slightly tense, I take her hands in mine. Have to feel hers, have to settle my own nerves. I stand by my words back there. Lily, I love you, and I won't leave you. I I only wish for you to think the same. She silently reflects a long time, which feels like an eternity. Her reverie comes to an end. She takes one hand from mine, placing it over them. She leans her body forward and stands out of her chair. After a moment of hesitation, her face slightly pensive, her lips meet mine for a brief moment. My mind feels like it's really stopped at that moment, barely registering Lily sitting back in her chair and smiling back at me with ever so slightly red cheeks. Hearing that makes me very happy, Sal. I will be glad to stay with you. Maybe it will be good to slow things down a bit compared to before. We still have school after all and our exams. She gives a mischievous giggles, which proves to be contagious. That might be a good idea, indeed. Do you think you'll fare well in your exam? It's only a day until they arrive, as you say. I probably should have studied more, but I think I got a good enough head to manage. That said, I had to bat off Misha and Shizumi in your class. Let's worry about the exams as mine. She likes an exasperated sigh, all but confirming it. I'm thankful the atmosphere is becoming a bit lighter. I think so. I already been asked for help by 2 of my classmates, and there will no doubt be more. There you go. Think of it as your first strain of being a teacher, maybe. That's probably a good way to think of it. On that note, how are you faring with your English studies? I remember far from your strongest subject, a few sentences you memorized to speak my mother aren't likely to help. Damn, you're right on the mark. You got me. If you don't mind, would you be able to possibly help in that regard, please? It would be my pleasure to help you, Hisama, but in exchange, she lowers her eyebrows at me and cockroachy nature tend to come into the fore. No problem at all. You're probably better off with some help in your studies, though. She beams a smile at me, one of the girl's victories that nearly makes me blush. I get the feeling she's aware of how to use her face to twist my judgment, so I should probably be more on guard. Here and now, though, a study group seems like an expedient way for both to show up, though. Yeah. The school bell rings and reminds us that time isn't going to stand still. Lunchtime already. It's sure easy to lose track of time here. This room is so far from the other clubs and activities, not much sound can reach us That's probably most of the reason why. A place far from others, alone with one person whom she loves, Hesily stands and collects her bags and can. My thoughts are cast to the time we spent in Hokkaido. Before I go, Akira and I are having some homecoming party in my room tomorrow. Would you be able to come? And back again. My schedule is free, so I should be able to make enough room to study in time to make it. Good to hear, Hisao. For what it's worth, I'm glad that you're back from Scotland. Once the exams are over, we should have some more time to ourselves. Holidays start soon, Alright. Wait, no, did I read that right? Holidays start soon after, too. Yep, I read that right. We can start the holidays with Tanabata then, as we promised at the school festival. She brings her hand to her cheek and laughs slightly, nervously, recalling the events that slightly thank myself for managing to remember. It seems odd to see her react in such a way, though. It's not like I never saw her embarrassed before. I better be going. Farewell, Hisao. Bye. Whether it's out of habit or just out of stubborn desire for one small fragment of normality, I hold my hand in farewell just as I always do. At least I'm consciously aware of that I'm doing it now. I think I'm beginning to see the bigger picture that I ever had before, not only with Lily, but also with my life ahead. The chains of the past are finally breaking. Yay! Break the chains of the past. Move ahead and move up and go down and go up and move the chains of the past. Chains of the past. Walking up to the now slightly more familiar corridor of the girls' dormitory, I can hear the faint sound of laughter coming from up ahead. It doesn't take long to identify the source as Lily's room, though the deep timbre of the female voice unmistakably belongs not to her but to her sister. I wrap my knuckles on the door, and with the use of 3 taps, my hand barely retreats as the door swings open. Hey, Hisao. Hey, hello, Lily Hanako. Hanako looks up tentatively, her hands buried in her oversized pink nightgown. From her side, Lily turns sideways towards the direction of my voice and smiles. It will be flagrant to lie, but I dislike the sight of her. It would be a flagrant lie to say I dislike the sight of. Oh no, I'm in short. I'm saying I love how Lily looks in her pajamas. I catch Akira give me a silent look with knowing grin, to which I reply with a sharp glare. She takes a hint, shrugs, and walks away to the low table and stands to the room. As I go to join her, Lily gives me a nod, greeting, and starts pouring me a cup of tea. It's nice to see you again, Hanako. You've been getting around recently. Hey, that sounds like whatever. Lily wears a look of concentration light brown liquid, carefully measured by her finger as always, flows from the teapot into the cup. It seems Hanako has been taking up helping one of the people in your class with the newspaper club, Naomi, I think. Hanako gives an affirmative nod. Even after spending about 2 months in class, I still have trouble remembering the names of those students I rarely talk with. It takes a few mental contortions to connect the name with the face, but I eventually remember the girl that sits beside Hanako at the back of the class. Naomi Inoue, a fairly average-looking girl except her bleached blonde hair. Given her upbeat, straightforward personality, Naomi may have seen opening the pouch of Hanako's for her club when she inquired about joining one. Either way, it was nice to see Hanako broadening her horizons. When I first met her, the idea of her joining a club with anyone but Lily would have seemed utterly laughable. That explains how busy you've been. You enjoying it? It's really interesting. As always, Hanako's far from being talkative. Some things never change. It seems that Hanako's personality is one of them. She'll likely always be the one shy away from being overly social. Wondered by the sound of crockery against the table, as Lily gently places my drink in front of me, I thank her and take a long sip. Hanako and Lily are attending to their own, and Akira is quaffing a mug of strong-smelling black coffee. You're a lucky bastard, Hisao. Huh? I can't help grimacing at her teasing smile, still visible around the edge of the mug pressed to her lips. See my sister in her pajamas? There's a lot of men who like to be where you are. I've seen a lot more than that of her. Not that I admit it. I saw her shrimps. Akira! Hey, I'm just teasing. She leans over to me as much as she can, whispering with a slight grin written on her face. And Hanako too, you perv. Hey, it was her idea. We both look over to her and her face turned to the ground and her hands fidgeting in the lap of her nightgown. If it's Hisao, I don't mind. This could be bad. I know Hanako's altogether too innocent to bother reading too much into the thing, but the expression Akira directs me is positively stormy. Akira, please. Since Lily can sense Akira's sudden change in aura as well as I even without seeing it for herself. Akira slowly looks away from me like an attack dog leached by owner in the nick of time. I breathe a sigh of relief. I can't think of a more appropriate time to try and change topics than around now. If you don't mind me asking, Akira, what do you do for a living? I've never seen you out of that suit. Think about what you do with yourself after school over there. I'm a lawyer for the most part. I work in the legal department on the Japanese branch of our family's company. The most boring possible answer. I suppose law is a pretty dry topic to most people. Kinda. Oi, you're not supposed to agree. Lily gets an amused giggle while holding her teacup and saucer, Hanako quickly joining her. This friendly atmosphere between everyone is something I missed while Lily and Akira were on trip. While the dealings I had with Hanako didn't help, I just think not having Lily around changed the mood. It's nice to be back. I miss you, Sal. And you too, Hanako. Same goes for both of us. Same goes for the both of us. I'm guessing your classes were happy to see you back. In a matter of speaking, yes. Akira's amused snort shows she's well aware of Lily's attitude towards such figures of speech. I imagine she'd have to be given how long they've been together. Did you have fun in Scotland? For a moment, I wondered why she's asking. It had been quite a while since they came back. But I remember everything that happened. We simply not have the time to look back. What with the exams and our Hokkaido trip? Lily's face goes distance for a moment, and the fact that Akira's first reaction to the look over her sister don't escape me. Nonetheless, she quickly collects herself. It was nice. We haven't met our family in such a long time. It was a wonderful reunion. Yeah, I guess that's right. Their house being in beachside was the best part, though. From her dismissive tone, I get a feeling Akira doesn't like their family as much as Lily does. You don't like that because you finally had time to play around. Just because I'm the better swimmer. I don't take after the athletic side of the family, that's all. Well, you can't take heart in the fact that you got height genes at least. And the bust genes. That's not really the right kind of thing to say around others. Though Lily pretends that to scolds, Akira does. Wait, let me read this again because I'm having a brain fart and that means I need water in my mouth. Fancy and delicious. Though Lily pretends to scold Akira, she does not. She does with a mystical slight of cheeky grin on her face. I doubt Akira really minds that. Judging from her nonchalant expression, while I don't either, Hanako's looking down and blushing fiercely beside me. The sisters' antics aside, their parents really do lead a bourgeois lifestyle. Since early divorce from the life that Lily and Akira have lived until now, I suppose practically most have made the decision for them. To have come from such a wealthy and well-connected lineage, I don't know, only adds to the most noble air Lily seems to have. Though, it's a small wonder none of them seems to have rubbed off onto Akira. They really are as little alike as siblings it could be. Their only similarity seems to be their shared confidence, which can be both endearing and a headache at times. Most of the night continues much the same, with Hanako eventually leaving with the Satao sisters, eventually leaving the Satao sisters. Okay, so Satao sisters is both Lily and Akira, and I to ourselves to she heads back to her dorm room for a rest. For a while, only the barely audible sound from Lily's teacup and nostalgia can occasionally be heard as she slowly drinks. The silence is strained as Lily and I wait for the elephant in the room to be addressed. So, Lily definitely puts her cup down, giving her sister her undivided attention. With Lily and I on one side on the low table and Akira on the other side, this almost feels like a judge passing down a verdict. I hear that you two are going out now. Did I read that right? I hear that you two are going out now. I glance sideways at Lily to confirm her as the source of Akira's knowledge. She gives a gentle nod to Akira, which I mirror in affirmation. Deciding that this is the proper time to place to do so, Akira being the closest figure to a parent Lily's had much for her life, I bow deeply my hands on the floor before me and my head barely nearly the same. I'll take good care of your sister, Akira, I promise. See? He's a lovely young gentleman. She must have heard my voice coming from the lower position than usual. I slowly bring myself back up, my eyes tenderly looking at Akira from under my brow. To tell the truth, I very much doubt my suited judge will raise any objections. She's very definitely the type of to make her disapprove with others well known. Something that lends her a measure of respect in my eyes. The old-fashioned kind. The old-fashioned kind, huh? But she's the kind of person I guess you go for. I don't have a problem with it. I wish you to the best. Even if I didn't like it, I couldn't really do anything anyways. I offer a nod of appreciation to her as Lily gets a small sigh of relief. Likely more for out of duty than the actual belief Akira might have had any problems with us being together. I do wonder though, how's the rest of the family taking it, particularly the part residing at Yamako. Wow, I can't read that. Have you told her? Smiles turn to grimness. Akira grins downright evilly. Those closest know how to twist the knife best after all. Putting up with it may be the best turn for the situation. Don't you agree, Hasao? Yeah, that sounds about right. At least she's being reasonable about it. Good to hear. That girl can be a handful at the best of times. We sent a few messages back and forth during just after the trip, and she was already busting my chops for seeing my boyfriend when we came back. After leaving Hideki for so long, she really does care for the little guy. I cast my mind back to Suma's reaction after telling me her about her relationship, but I decided not to bring it up. It's no doubt simply born out of mutual antipathy, and Akira's comment only backed that up. Well then, that's settled. Gotta get to work early tomorrow. I better be off. She rises from the table with a grunt, her hand on her knee, and pushes her up. I just noticed Akira's eyes lingering on Lily for a couple seconds before turning away, as she begins to take her leave. After she walks out of the door, she stops and looks up thoughtfully before turning us one last time. Oh yeah, I almost forgot to tell you. Use protection every time. I got violently at the tea in my mouth, contrary to my own. Lily's composure holds perfectly as she seems to tell me on face. I am kind of impressed. We are, don't worry. Atta girl, see yous. And with that, she turns and strides out of the door, a hand held high as she disappears into the darkness hallways, closing the door behind her. The most reaction I can muster, flopping forwards onto the table, completely drained out of energy and truly exhausted by her. Lily's ability to hold her own against that sweet devil is something I admire. She's really incredibly blunt. I don't think I'll ever be able to keep up with your sister's energy. As I feel Lily's soft hand come to rest on my own, I roll my head to the side to see her gently smiling. For a long time, we simply sit beside each other silently. Given her unquestionably unusual height, she's pretty much exactly as tall as I am, probably a couple of centimeters higher if anything. Like this, she appears even taller. The feeling of her pale soft hand against mine is a pleasant one, as if sight of the thin silk pajamas she wears, showing her curves and collarbone. You do get on well though, even if you do say that. I guess you know you two are a lot alike though. I first saw when I met you. Then it's a good thing I quickly stopped you from going after her, isn't it? Though she jokes about it, my sense of my ability to keep up with Akira, either physically or mentally, was quite in earnest. Lily's slow pace and ladylike, almost motherly nature, perhaps, is the single thing that helped me most in my first week at Yamako. Come to think of it, since when we were using protection? As I give a curious look to my side, Lily's cheeks puff and she huffs at me. Unlike you, I remember the packet in the cupboard next to the sink. What? So I'm not the only one of us that takes pills in hindsight. I rather thoughtless for not remembering at all, leaving it to Lily. Looking over to the cupboard, she mentions, I noticed again the knee-high piles of books around us that were on the other times I visited. For the most part, they're lined up against the wall to give a little more room around the table. Why don't you get a bookshelf for your books? Is it odd to see books just pile around, especially given the room looks so neat and orderly otherwise? They're easy to find this way. I know exactly which pile each book is in. When you still know after you put it in different shelves? That may be, but so she's not immune to bouts of laziness after all. You have so many of them. It's kind of a shame that we can't share our book sets, despite both of us reading so much. She gets a short giggle. Come to think of it, why didn't you order your books through Yuko? I imagine there'd be plenty of sites that you could order books in Braille, especially in English Braille. There are a lot of text-to-speech programs too. She turned her head slightly away from me, which strikes me somewhat surprising. I'm just not all that good with computers. I'm alright with typewriters and braillers.
Hey, thank you so much for watching. If you guys really enjoyed the video, make sure you leave a like. It shows your support. And if you guys want to watch more videos like this, then subscribe so you never miss a video. Woo!